Good afternoon, Tony Dattino, founder and president of the USA Memory Championship. And as we are looking at the calendar now that the summer months have gone, it is time for us to go into high gear to prepare for the 25th USA Memory Championship. And the question first of all, people say, geez, 25 years you've been doing it, where have you been? And I often, that's making a little bit too much noise. Where have you been? And I often ask myself the same question, God, where have we been? Well, we've been on all of the major TV networks. We've been on their magazine shows, ABC, CBS, NBC. We've been on CNN. We've had segments that have gone on the HTNet station. We had a 3-year TV program that we had with them. And I often, when people ask me that question, where have you been? I kind of scratch my head and I said, boy, I think we've been in the New York Times, the USA Today, we've been in the New York Post. I mean, we've been in so many major media magazines. I guess people are not either reading or paying attention, or when they hear that there's a USA Memory Championship underway, and they kind of wonder, like, what in the heck is the USA Memory Championship? So where have we been? We've been all over. And what's amazing is probably the book that has done as much for us as anything was the book that Josh Foer wrote, Moonwalking with Einstein. And Josh was one of our USA Memory champions, and is a good writer and a good speaker, and began doing TED Talks and got a writing contract to write a book, which he titled Moonwalking with Einstein. And what was fortunate about that is in the competition that Josh decided to enter, he was one step away from being eliminated, and fortunately the person right before him was eliminated, and Josh got to be our champion. And at the end of it, when they asked him if he was going to Disney World, he said, I'm going home, I'm tired. This is pretty significant work in terms of your brain. And so the Memory Championship is just basically a culmination of events that bring to what we call qualifying people that are mentally capable of being open to be on a stage and being broadcast on YouTube. In this case, through Full Sail University's team, we are going to be recording the 28th on YouTube. That gets edited down and would be out for the public to see on the YouTube channel, USA Memory Championship. And so people across the country are able to see what is a USA Memory Championship, and what are the people, who are these people that are the mental athletes that decide that they wish to compete for who has the best memory in the United States. And Josh was the person that is brought to us through his book, which people still read and still obviously call us from. That has made such a difference. So, my goodness, we got fortunate in a way, I guess, to have Josh win the event that year, because it's through that book that we've had more people inquire. And first of all, the question is, are you the Tony Dattino that he mentions in that book? And I say, I'm the guy. Yep. And they say, well, great to find you. Now, again, I don't find myself invisible. I do Live with Tony 3 days a week. I talk about memory elements, memory skills, different aspects of cognitive function. And so I'm not trying to hide, and I love it when people find us. And we do have people that competed this year. We had just about 100 people that signed up to compete on a virtual that was run by Memory League. It's an organization of people that are made up from some folks from San Francisco, California, and Australia, that are so wonderful and gracious enough to put us on a virtual competition through the games that they have created. And from that, we call that down to 12 people, and then we have a few alternates from there. And any prior memory champion gets an automatic bye. So through the qualifying events and through our automatic champions, we have a competition that's coming due here on September 28th. And so people ask us, well, where do you find these people? They actually find us through media, through hearing a podcast or through a broadcast of someone. We find that people find us through different versions of media conversations and social media. Hopefully people find us through my Live with Tony broadcast, and then these get converted to YouTubes as well. So we're trying to use every means of vehicles of trying to broadcast this. Our vision and dream of this is that one day this is going to exist throughout the United States, and we'll have regional competitions. We think of California, maybe Texas, maybe Chicago, but we'll host regional competitions. We'll find sponsors that think that it's important for people to maintain cognitive fitness, and then we'll bring the team together to host the event and then run the competition, and then bring in a few people from each region. And we're thinking maybe if we had 5 regions, we'd bring in 3 people from each region to compete on a national level for who has the best memory in the United States. And that's been our vision. And so we've wanted to do this for a number of years. And it is still one of the toughest things I think I've ever had to accomplish, which is how do you get people to believe that their memories are not stuck and either you're not brilliant or what have you, but that there are skills that you could learn. You could be taught these skills. You could go to online. There's all types of different vehicles. There are books. If you go to a Barnes & Noble bookstore, you can still find books on how to improve your memory. We have 2 online courses that are important to cognitive fitness and health. Maximize Your Master Memory, which is the one that we created from learning of 20 years of mental athletes competing and putting the best of what those skills are that were simple, pragmatic, and people can learn without feeling like, my God, I've got to go to graduate school or I've got to take my PhD on this. But they are fundamental to how do you improve remembering the names of people that you meet? How do you improve list of things that you need to accomplish that you may even apply to your reading comprehension? How do you do mind maps? You know, what's the best way that you can do a mind map that helps you to retain information that's important to you for schoolwork, for job applications, for promotional opportunities, for college, graduate work or college work? I mean, we have worked to make these, through the years of experience, simple enough for people when they see it, they don't gasp and like, God, I could never do this. In fact, our whole purpose of the Memory Championship is to show people in the country, anyone can do this. Anyone is capable of looking at and studying the techniques. They're not complicated techniques. It takes a little bit of effort to take the time to learn the technique, but more importantly, it takes a commitment to wanting to practice the techniques. The learning is the easiest part, as I have found. It's really the practicing, because people today want instant results. And when you're learning new skills, whether it be in what your profession was, if you're a lawyer or you're a doctor, I mean, would you want your doctor to go, oh, I went to a 3-credit course and now I'm ready to operate on you? Would you want to go to a lawyer who said, oh, I took 6 credits, I did it online, and I'm ready to practice your law on a major legal issue that you've got to handle? And this is not, I shouldn't say it's any different. It's, are you willing to learn how to remember people's names? How do you remember information that you're reading? How do you take something in that you're reading or studying or hearing on a phone call or in a business meeting, and how do you take it away and retain it for use later on? How do I remember a string of numbers? You know, I want to remember addresses, I want to remember phone numbers. Now again, we're getting lazy, right? As I say to people, we're dumbing down. You know, oh, well, it's in my iPhone, I don't have to remember it. I look at the signatures my grandkids have in terms of the writing they have, and signing their names to a document. It's scary in terms of what we've done to ourselves, in terms of dumbing down things that require us to dumb up and smarten up a little bit. And so the Memory Championship, we start with what we call long-term memory. They have information they've been given now with a month to study it, and we'll put questions in front of them, and they have to answer these questions. It's an exciting event, and we picked national parks this year. So you might learn something if you watch the broadcast about national parks and information we asked them about the national parks, be it the number of visitors, be it the number of acres that it's a part of, or when it was founded. I mean, this is fun information. In fact, I'm trying to plan some vacation now around a couple of national parks that seems to be so very interesting, and what's in them and what the key elements of them are. We go from there to what we call a word list, words to remember. We give them 300 words with 15 minutes to remember as many as they can, and they go into a head-to-head competition with that. We follow it up with what we call our tea party, 3 strikes and we're out. We created that from HDNet television. They wanted to see something that people could play at home and be a part of, and so we created an event where a person comes on a stage and gives their name and their phone number, their address, their hobbies, and maybe their pet. And we made it fun information that you could learn about people. And the mental athletes have to listen to this. They can take some notes. They get a few minutes to study their notes and whatever it is that they want to retain. And then we bring these people back out. No more notes are applicable. And they have to recall their name, phone numbers, addresses, favorite hobbies. And interesting information you may want to learn if you're socializing with people. And then we take that down in a head-to-head as we go through the day, and we bring it down to, they get 5 minutes to remember the order of 2 decks of cards. And at the end of those events, now we've gone through 5 qualifying events. So they've gone through qualifying. So we've got the best of the best, putting them on a stage to demonstrate to people, here's how I can show you how good my memory is. And it's a fun day. We enjoy doing it. By God, we put so much planning into it, and it's done in a few hours. And I attribute the people, the men and women that come to this, from 15 years old to however old we are this year. We've had 70-year-old people compete. And it's exciting to see these people walk away and say, wow, this was really a lot of fun. Oh, excuse me. And who would think competing in a memory with double C's? Who would think competing in a memory championship would be a lot of fun? And yet the mental athletes that come to Winter Park, Florida at Full Sail University walk away feeling really good about themselves. And to me, that's what makes this, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep working it till we get hundreds of thousands of people realizing, by God, I'm not doomed in terms of where my memory is. In fact, there are things I can do to improve my memory and help me deal with cognitive issues that I may be concerned about, regardless of my age. And off we are. My goodness, as I look at the calendar, September the 2nd, we have 26 more days before we're ready to go with the 25th USA Memory Championship. So check out our website. Stay in tune with usamemorychampionship.com. That will keep you up to date. It'll give you access to the 2 online courses we have that I think are incredible, and let you know who's competing in this year's event.